Good evening, good afternoon, morning to people on the West Coast. It's Commander Dr. Kaii speaking on behalf of the fleet, pilot number 002. We are departing in T-minus 10 minutes according to my clock. So if everybody could please begin prepping for launch, that would be excellent. It is a balmy 679 Kelvin in NGC 6357 sector DLYE22. And the weather is fine, a bit misty in the crater. Salute you all. A couple of announcements before we depart. Let's talk a bit about what's coming up. So, I just want to mention that we are now entering Stage 2. Stage 2, leaving home behind, is the official designation. We are going to be entering into the core, crossing the normal expanse, and making our way pretty thoroughly close into the core. I'm looking at the map now. We're not going to get all the way to the middle. New Botany Bay, which is the 8th, is it the 8th one? It's the 8th waypoint, yes. Is most of the way into the core, but it's not obviously into the halfway point. This is going to be a much more difficult part of our journey. We only have 3 base camp rendezvous points along this stretch of the expedition, and they're spread across nearly 13,000 light years. So, yeah, they'll be stretching across the normal expanse from the near normal arm and out to the very edge of the galactic outer core. So there are likely to be long periods of travel where you're on your own out there. The distant base camps will offer welcome and sociable rest spots for weary pilots, as usual, arriving from across the expanse. So we have approximately 2 weeks to complete Stage 2. 2 weeks to complete 13,000 light years, so it's still going a fairly medium pace. But I have to point out that we are now so far from home that if you do blow up, if you do make any mistakes, you will probably not have the motivation to come back and catch up, and you might not even be able to at the pace we're setting. So this is where it gets serious. This is where we put on our hard hats. This is where we, I'm getting a bit nervous, to be honest. As I said last time, this is where the real nerves are going to kick in, because there have been quite a few mistakes, including my own. I'm at currently 87% hull. I'm just going to trust that I'm not going to make any further mistakes. And yes, I wish you all the very best of luck and skill. Just like to read out a couple of things I saw over the forum in the last couple of days that have really put everything into perspective. So here's a message from Anonymous. Actually, I'll read his name out. His name is Alexander Taldarin. So let me just say what he wrote. I hope you don't mind, Alexander. I'm just going to you verbatim here. I just want to say thank you to you, he's speaking to Aramis at the time, and Dr. Kaii and all the others, and that is the key, all the others have done the hardest work of all, especially the prospectors, but we'll get onto that, for putting your time and effort into organising Distant Worlds Expedition. I watched the news from Elite Dangerous, since it was still a Kickstarter project, and I was not really convinced of buying it until I, by accident mind you, stumbled my way into the exploration part of the ED forums, and learned all the history you guys, community self, made up in the past year or so. Let's say I was thoroughly impressed by it. Upon learning of the Distant Worlds project, I knew that my cue to finally jump into the game, that was my cue to jump finally into the game, and I was on the verge of buying it for so long. Bought original ED and Horizons, and within a short time to prepare, bounty hunting my way to a Cobra MK3 with decent exploration kit to have at least a chance of making it to the end. Beagle Point. I'm with the expedition for the last 2 weeks, making my way out on schedule to the waypoints, meeting and playing with loads of other people, and having one of the best time playing since a space sim game ever. Community and social aspects of this is making it together as a group to the far ends of the galaxy is something that turns up more than I hoped for. I agree with you, Alexander, there. I'm currently at waypoint 5, and my Cobra is in good condition, 96%. I hope I will make it all the way to the end. Even if I fail, it will still be the best project I have been part of in any space sim game yet. I guess this is my way of saying thank you to you and all the others who use their free time to organise something on this scale and allow me, a new player, a chance to keep up as best as I can. In case anyone didn't realise, by the way, we made a magazine article with Rock Paper Shotgun, and guess who tweeted it? David Braben himself. So he knows about us. We have pleased David Braben. All for you, David. All for you. We have lost a few people along the way, as I've mentioned. By the way, I'm just checking that you can still hear me. I'm not talking to myself. Yeah, it seems to be going well. We have lost quite a few people. There's been a few mistakes. One person crashed into someone else, and the other person had to go back to the bubble. He was very apologetic, but thankfully the spirits are good, and there was no anger or no complaints. No cries for lawyers or compensation. Everyone is in good spirits, and I'm very happy about that. So Alexander, I wish you the best of luck in reaching the end. Oh, we got one person who left. His name is... Actually, let me just get this right. His name is V8UC Alicorn, Commander Alicorn. He has left the expedition, not because he crashed, but I'm going to read you what he wrote, because it is actually quite an inspiring story. I signed up for Distant Worlds a few weeks ago, but owing to a rather brutal medical reality that keeps me asleep for the majority of every waking day, I've decided to turn back to the bubble so I can continue loving this beautiful game in a more time-friendly way. That is to say, my space trucking. I just want to make it clear that I hold no ill blood. Quite the opposite, in fact. Distant Worlds was the most incredible thing I've ever been part of. So many people, so many countries. If you told me 2 years ago that I'd be talking to that many people, I'd have laughed. If I hadn't run away first. See, I openly admit to having Asperger's, and I have no shame in it. All I'm saying there is that I've taken a lot from my short time with Distant Worlds. It helped me improve my social ability a lot. I have all you from the Skype chat to thank for that. It's thanks to this event that I can now speak to the cashier at the local shop. It's thanks to this trip that I don't just ignore people asking for the timeout on the street. It might seem small, but to me, it's a very big thing. It's taught me that the average Joe on the road is a perfectly reasonable chap who just wants to be friends. Basically, what I'm saying is that Distant Worlds has taught me that it doesn't hurt to be sociable, that I can help strangers, that I can live as an equal. Take it from me, if this trip achieves nothing else, then it has helped change one guy's perspective of the world for the better. For that, I thank you. I thank with everything I have in my heart. Good luck on your trip, commanders. I'll be rooting for you all the way. Well, we've already appointed Commander Alicorn as ambassador to the bubble, because once you are a Distant Worldser, you are always a Distant Worldser. And I am personally very inspired, but I think you should all be very inspired as well, because it's not me, it's not any of the organisers that did that, it was you guys. The spirit of this trip that has been repeated over and over again is the best spirit I've ever come across in any kind of gaming situation. There's a few people that are upset about a couple of things here and there, but they are 2 or 3 among 1,000. Literally, the amount of good blood going around is... You should all pat yourselves on the back, just for being extremely awesome people. And we are lifting off in T-minus 3 minutes according to my clock. There is a bit of a delay, so I'm sorry if people are eager to go. 2 minutes now. So, in the last 2 minutes, I just want to say a big thank you to Aramis. All along the way, I've been spending plenty of time thanking people, and for some reason I keep neglecting to thank him, which is ridiculous, because he is the one who has done the most amount of work. He's not just the big guy because he came up with the thing, he's the big guy because he has done tremendous amounts of work. I mean, just updating the roster on the thread itself, which is one of the most important things of making a cohesive unit, has taken him several hours every day. When I say several, I mean 4 or 5. Just going through posts and then extracting the relevant information and pasting it into the thread, ridiculous. Then setting up the different private groups, again, having to corroborate every name against the rosters to make sure it's right. The amount of work he's done to keep you guys safe, to make sure that this mission goes off without a hitch, is ridiculous. And that is not including him going all the way to the very, very end of the expedition twice to make sure that we get all the good waypoints. We make sure that the timings are done correctly, that the expedition is going to go well, that he can give back information, make sure that everyone can make it, judge the distances, to give the proper itinerary. Commander Aramis, we salute you as a whole, as a group. I'm currently speaking to 136 people, which unfortunately is not very many, but I think everyone here should be saluting Commander Aramis and thanking him from the bottom of their hearts. We are taking off, according to my clock. My clock will tell me what time it is in about T-minus 30 seconds. Ooh, T-minus 10 seconds. Okay, I'm going to do countdown now. Everybody, I wish you the best of luck for stage 2. Let's head out into the black river and let us forge new ground, trailblaze
landing gear retracted.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff from the ground. Everybody enter hyperspace at your own discretion.
4, 3,
I'm not gonna get outboard until I just watch you guys.
1.
Mission abort.
Ignition. The crash.
It's a great view.
Here we go, boys. Good luck. See you guys at the stop.
And we've got liftoff.
Please don't hit me on the way up.
Good luck, US and EU crew. See you at base camp.